All right. So as you see our purple paper out, some people like to take the notes first and then glue it in. That is fine as well. And so first thing we're going to do is we're going to be finding the slope of a graph. But I need all your eyes and ears up here. That means your hand should be out your pencil. Okay. So the first thing we're doing is we're going to take, but I need all eyes up here. I'm not going to talk over you. So first what we're going to be doing is we're going to be identifying points that fall on the graphs. So just like we did on our do now, I want you guys to look at these four graphs and identify points. And so all you're doing right here is plotting points that fall exactly on the line. So go ahead on each one. I want you to identify points just like we did on our do now that fall exactly on the line. So like how I'm doing it right, see how it falls right there, right there. I know it's a little blurry up here. Right here you can see all these points fall on the line. And so you're just identifying points, you're plotting points that fall on each of those graphs. So first thing we do is when we read left to right, right? Yeah. So when we read slopes, we read also left to right. So I start with the left dot, right? And so the first thing I want you to do is I want you to draw a little man on the slope. Here's my little slope man. Yeah, like him. Look at him. He's surfing. He looks like he's surfing, right? Or sledding or skiing. First thing I want you to do is I want you to draw a man on the slope. Now, is he sliding down or is he puffing and puffing up the hill? Is he going down or up? Down. So if he is going down, that we know we're going to have a negative slope, right? We know that in the end, this slope is going to have a negative sign in front of it because we can see this guy is going down. I also can see, I start with my left point, and the first thing we're going to do is figure out the rise. If it's going from here to the next point, right? I read it like I'm reading negative. I read it left to right. And so from this point to this point, is it going down or up? Down. And so since it's going down, I know it's negative. How many is it going down from here to here? 1. So because it's going down 1, I'm going to put -1 right there. So you're going from one point to another. So I would be going down 1, so it's -1. Then I figure out how much is this guy running from this point to this point. Let's count. 1, 2, 3. Do you guys see how he's running 3 from this point to this point? So that would be over +3, like that. Then you reduce it. Can I reduce this? What would this fraction look like? It would look like this, -1 over 3. I don't really need to put that positive, but I want to make sure I understand because it's going right 3, it's positive 3. So that's my slope for that one. Does that make sense for the first one? Oh, cool. All right, next one. Do I start with the left dot or the right dot? Remember, you read left to right, like I'm reading this paper, right? And so from here to here, is there any rise? Does it rise anything? From here to here, is there any up and down movement going on? No, so there's 0 up and down movement going on. What about from here to here? How much is it running? From here to here, how many boxes did it go over? 1. Put that in your calculator. What is 0 divided by 1? Did everyone get 0? When you plugged it into your calculator, did everyone get 0? So we saw it rose 0 and ran 1. So my slope is 0. I also know it's going to be 0 because I can take this slope. See how it's a straight line like this? I can make a z with it. Do you see that? If you can make a z with it and draw a z like that, I know the slope is 0. Not with this though. This would look like a crooked z, right? If I did this, it looks like a perfect, beautiful z. But if I did it with this, that wouldn't look like a z. Oh, it could be your middle one. Good point, but it's your start of your z. All right, next one. When we take 2 points from here, let's take these two. So let's start at the top. From this point to this point, how much are we going down by? Down 1. Are you running at all? No, so over 0. Put that into your calculator. -1 divided by 0. What does it say in your calculator? It says error. Did everyone see that? It says divide by 0 error. Do you guys see that? It says error. So that means it's undefined. So if you got 0, make sure you put it incorrectly. But do you guys see how it says error? Now, if I can make a U out of it like this, see how I made a U?
Yeah.
It's undefined. That means it doesn't exist.
Oh yeah.
Or if it says error on your calculator, you know it's undefined.
This is undefined. Yeah. This is I forgot.
0.
0. And this is.
This one?
Yeah.
So now let's look at the last one before we go over the other notes. So I'm going to plot here, and I'm going to do this one. Now, the closer the points are to each other, you're not going to have to reduce. But I want to show you what reducing would look like in this situation. So first, if I draw my little man right here, and he's walking up the hill, I know it's going to be a positive slope. He's walking up a hill, I know this is going to be positive. Now, from this one to this one, how far up are you going? 9, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we're rising 9. And how many are we running? 1, 2, 3. What is 9 divided by 3? Not subtract, divided, right? We end up getting 3 over 1 or 3. Notice you could have used these 2 points and just gotten 3 over 1. You just want to make sure you can use any 2 points, but you want to make sure you reduce the answer. Does that make sense so far? Okay, we're going to go over the 2 other ways to get about the slope, and then you're just going to practice. So we're going to go to that next set of notes right here. And it's a little white sheet that looks like this, and it says finding the slope. And you should already be able to do the graph one, but we're going to be doing the other 2 together, so these 2. Yeah, you're going to glue that one in as well. Yeah. So we're gluing this one in as well. When you're done, you're going to write those 3 notes under the first box. So those 3 steps that are up here, you're going to write them on your own notes. Alright, I'll
What
give
should
you
you be
10 more
doing?
seconds. I like that Javon is writing his notes down in his book. I like that Kate's writing the 3 steps down in her book. On her notes. I like that Batista already did it. I like that Jennifer is writing her 3 steps down. David. And Dakota. And Kimberly. All right, so we're gonna get started. So the first thing we're gonna do, first step that we do is label, label, label. Say it with me. Come on, there's 42 of you, and I somehow am label, 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 label. Label, label, label. Perfect. What comes first in the alphabet, X or Y? X or Y?
Why?
You're right, X. But I heard some people say Y. So we have the X and we have Y's, right? So first, make sure you're writing this down. When we have points, we have X and Y. When we label, we do X1 because it's our first X, Y1, X2, Y2. The biggest mistake I see people do is X1, X2. Remember, it's an X and Y coordinate. So label, label, label. It's X1, Y1, X2, Y2. So you should be writing that at the top of your sheet. So if I have these 2 points, I would label this first one X1, this one Y1, X2, Y2. These are the 2 points they want us to do right here. Now, it is never going to change. It is always going to get labeled the same exact way. Step 2, I'll wait. Step 2 is plug it in, plug it in. Say it with me.
Plug it in, plug it in.
That's one person. Plug it in, plug it in.
Plug it in.
Plug it in, plug it in. So, see this equation? See this equation up there? I'm always going to be giving it to you because it is on your formula sheet on your milestone. So all we're doing is instead of our Y2, what are we going to be plugging in? What is our Y2 right here? 6, right? So instead of Y2, I'm going to plug in 6, but make sure it's in parentheses. Minus, what's our Y1 here? 2. Or sorry, that's a 12, guys. 12. There you go. I know it doesn't look like it. So I'm plugging in 6 minus 12 over, what's our X2? 4 minus, what's our X1? 2. So all I did was label, 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 plug it in, and then I'm going to put it right into my calculator, or I can do it in by my head. What is 6 minus 12? Negative 6. What is 4 minus 2? 2. Can I reduce that? What is negative 6 divided by 2? Negative 3. Beautiful. That's your slope. So, almost done. We have one more left. The next one, we're going to go over the last one because we already know how to do this, right? We already know how to do, I'll wait. We already know how to do it on a graph. We just did that. Let's do the table. So when we're looking at a table, see the Y's and the X's? The first thing you're going to do is see what are the Y's going up by? Right here, what are the Y's going up by? 2, right? See? So I'm looking at the tables right now. And so you can see that they're all, Jaden, up by 2. And so, remember, y2 minus y1, all that means is the change in y over the change in x. So, what is happening with the y's? What are they adding by? 2. So my change in y is adding 2. What's my change in x? What's going on from here to here to here?
1.
Adding 1, right? So right here, my change in x, I would put plus 1. We're almost done then. You're going to have a chance to practice. Jaden. Now, what is 2 divided by 1? 2. So your slope here would be a positive 2. That's how we find it when we have tables. We find what's the change in y, what's the change in x, and we divide those two. Or you can always write them as points and do it this way as well. But this is a little bit easier. Then right here, we already know what letter, when we have y equals mx plus b, what letter is my slope in y equals mx plus b? What letter is indicates that it's my slope? What letter looks like a slope? Like a hill? The m, right? So in this equation, which one is my slope? Which number? Not 3x. What's the number? 3 is your slope. So we already learned that, but that's just review. So what we're going to be doing for practice today is you guys are going to be doing your practice worksheet. So right here you're looking, and you already plotted the points. You're just finding the slope, so the rise over run on that first page that you did the do now on. So you're finding, now that you understand how to find the slope, you're finding the slope. The second page, I give you the slope formula, and you're label, plug it in, and getting me the slopes. The last one is a table, and you're finding me the slope from the table. Now, last thing. This is your check for understanding. So your check for understanding is finding the slope from the points, and I give you the equation, it's finding the slope from the graph. So you know what you're going to be tested on at the end of the period. So make sure that you get those practice problems done so that you're able to get that touchdown for your field goal for your team. So everyone, can you give me a thumbs up if we understand what we're doing right now? And you guys can stamp yourselves. Each page, you'll get a brain book. And so right up there is the answer key. So right here is the answer key, so you can check your work. All right.